Hello, everyone. I'm here today with Pamela Vandervoort. Vandervoort. I think I'm saying it correctly. I'm Kathryn Yarborough, and I'm your host. I'm your host for this Manifesting Abundance video show, and I'm delighted to be here. It's my intention to do a show and interview cool, awesome people who are I'm jumping sentences. It's my intention to do a show about twice a week and interview wonderful people like Pamela who are consciously creating their lives by design. And many of the guests will offer services for people. And so we're going to talk about dating for true love and other kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, I haven't been on a show for like a week and a half because I have been creating my life and doing fun stuff. I have a friend in town and we went to the beach, and it just hasn't and my son was here. So what's really cool about designing your own life is that you can change the schedule. You can do what you want, and that's what I've been doing. So I am thrilled to be here. And so Pamela, welcome. Tell us about
Hi. Well, I'm Pamela Vandervoort, and you did a great job with my name. And my business is Dating for True Love because I am about helping people create and manifest love, right? I mean, love to me and a happy, healthy relationship, which for me is what true love is, right? It's a happy, healthy relationship. It's not like a, comfortable roommate or not so comfortable roommate or somebody you're with out of fear of being alone. It's really creating the relationship that you want, the relationship that you desire. And that's what my program is all about. My belief is that the dating stage that everybody thinks is such a necessary evil, like, oh, I don't want to date. But the dating stage is the opportunity. The dating process is the way that you create what you want. And the coolest thing about the dating process is that it's the way you get feedback from the universe, right? Like you literally, it's like an online dating, I swear to you, it's like instant manifestation because whatever you're putting out, you're going to like get that experience right back. It's hilarious.
Oh, that is very interesting. So I love this because, as a manifester,
Yes.
I absolutely love, I totally believe that these days, especially because of online stuff, you get so much instant feedback about your energy. I don't want to say fix it, but change things. Sometimes it's difficult. We don't even realize what we're sending out. But wow. So okay. So with dating for true love and the way you work with people, you just mentioned dating online. Do you encourage people to do that? Did my thing freeze up? Did you freeze up? I'm seeing things moving. Huh. I think I'm connected. So Pamela may be having a challenge here. It could be on my end. I don't think so, but it could be. And so anyway, so while we're waiting for Pamela to come back, let's just talk about dating. I know for myself, I'm single, and I really enjoy being single. And I was just chatting with a friend, and she's like, wow, if I were to date somebody or, connect with somebody, I've got this huge list of things, he needs to be. I know for myself, I would want to feel really good in the relationship. I just saw that she dropped off, and maybe she's going to recall again. So anyway, I'm sure she'll come back. But anyway, so when you think about dating for true love, what comes up for you? So Pamela, are you back on? Okay, I can't hear you. This whole thing with that was really funny, actually. We're talking about online dating, and Pamela is we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Pamela. Can't see you, can't hear you. So, oh my goodness, what an interesting experience life brings us. And I know she's really excited to be here. And I wonder how often that happens for us with anything, like with dating. there can be that really strong desire to find somebody to be in relationship with, and then something funky happens. So, it's interesting. Very interesting topic, how the universe responds back and why is this happening? So, she dropped off again. All right. So anyway, dating for true love and manifestation. So Pamela, there you are.
I'm back. That must have just set off some powerful.
I'm telling you.
It just disconnected. It was like, whoa, too much information. No.
That was interesting. It was so, and it was like, okay, so what does that mean based on, what, is there some sort of glitch in the vibration you're sending out about talking about this whole process of dating for true love?
No, I think it was just so powerful. It just short-circuited everything.
I'll take that. That's good. I like that.
Because it's all about how we interpret it, everything, right?
Right, and the interpretation that feels the best is the one I like.
Exactly, the one you choose. But you either believe that life is with you or against you, right? So
yeah. Okay, so dating for true love. We're back at that. I was just I briefly said while you were away, I was talking about how, like, I for me, if I were to get back into a relationship, it would have to be really awesome. I was just talking, the guy would have to be just, I think the bottom line is I want to feel really good in the relationship. So that means feel good about me and feel good about him if that were to ever happen. And I kind of have this feeling about this guy, like there's somebody out there who actually that would happen with, but that's about as far as it goes for me. Now, I was just talking to a friend, and she said if she were to date again, that she's got this list, and he'd have to be really awesome. So, but tell us. I think my question was really, after you spoke, was about the online dating. Do you suggest that people date online?
I do, but I suggest that, you do get some guidance and some help with how to date online, because it can be, so many people are meeting their right person online. Like, it's one of the best ways, especially, when you're out of although a lot of people in their 20s are doing it now too. It's just a really, really powerful way of meeting somebody. So I do suggest it, but I do think it's good to just get some sort of like feedback on how to do it, because it can get really frustrating, because the reality is there are some not so great people online, just like there are some great people online. It's like the world, right? There's some not great people and there's some fabulous people. So it's really important.
What? You froze up again.
To learn how to.
There you are. Okay. It froze up for a second. That was really interesting. So there's some great people and not so great people, and it's important to learn. Well, so that's interesting. Now, so we'll come back. We may come back to that idea.
And the other thing I just want to say about that list thing that you were talking about is that people really also, their lists are often like external oriented, and they're not really getting clear on the true values of what they're looking for. Because so many times with my women, it's like when they finally break their type, like when they finally.
Well, okay.
Break.
Are you there? Okay, so this is just a reflection of my love life, maybe. Not that I'm interested in women or Pamela, but we're missing what Pamela's saying. This is interesting. So Pamela, if you can hear me, we cannot hear you. And oh my goodness. So what do you do when you're trying to connect with somebody? and it keeps breaking apart. The connection doesn't work. It's an interesting question. So, Pamela's talking about, finding a person from a different perspective than external values. I know, as I was talking about, it's based on how I want to feel. I want to feel a certain way with a person. But I love being single. So I'm also really, really happy being single. And I'd have to feel really, really good about somebody and with somebody to want to be in a relationship. But it also makes me think that, those of us who are intentionally manifesting our lives and creating our lives by design, I haven't put any energy into dating. Hey, Pamela, are you back?
Yes, I don't know why I'm having all these internet problems this morning. It's very odd because I actually do a lot of hangouts and I've never had this. So anyway.
That is very odd.
I know. Oh, well. Huh. But I'm back.
Okay.
And so I will say that, the values are really important. Like I have one client who's like, I just love men with that charisma. I'm just really I need that charisma. Well, digging deep, turns out she has a thing for narcissists. Well, narcissists have a tremendous amount of charisma and they suck you in and they move really fast and they make you feel like, oh, you're the woman of their dreams, and they want to sweep you off your feet and be your Prince Charming and da-da-da. And then when things get real, they go away. And so and it was interesting because then she kind of started like continuing to sort of manifest these narcissists for a while, right? The energy of the past. But then as she started to see like, okay, this is what attracted me about this person. Oh, okay, this is, and it was like her insecurity kind of feeling like she needed to have that instant attention on her to make her feel okay about herself, that she would get sucked in, and that she had a really hard time asking for what she wanted in relationships, and they felt like they were just so there for her that she didn't have to do that. Whereas with somebody with appropriate boundaries, it's a whole different ball game. So then she realized that what she thought was her number one requirement was to have somebody with all of this charisma. Turned out that was a value that didn't work for her.
So how do you help people find the values that do work for them?
Well, I have a whole process that I teach in my Magnify True Love program. I have a whole process where we do like a deep dive into your relationship patterns. So we really, inventory like your past relationships. We do just a deep dive. We pull out the patterns, we see what they are, and kind of go from there. And then we figure out what your real values are, what's really important. And then when you're dating, you start looking, you start looking for these values instead of looking for this charisma or whatever it is that's kind of keeps getting the person into those problems, right? It's like that phenomena of like dating the same guy with a different face, how that phenomena. There's something off in your values when that keeps happening.
Well, so can you give an example of like three values that are new values that people, they're not new to them, but they identify them as important in the relationship and how that works?
So like a value that so many women have is that they want somebody who's really successful. Like, I want a man who's successful. I want a man who makes money. But for me, what it really comes down to is more of, is he on purpose? Can you, does he take responsibility for his life? Can you trust him that he's going to take, that if stuff happens, which it does, right? Like, look at the economic crash that we had in 2008. You could be with a man who made a ton of money and then he could have lost it all then. So do you just like get rid of him because your thing was to be? with money, and you could trust him to take care of the situation.
Okay. So I'm sorry, you sort of went in and out, but what I got out of that is that, so some women, or a lot of women, have the value that they want their partner to be successful, obviously make money. I mean, that's sort of the old thing, is that the guy is, you know, the provider, and we women get to be taken care of, you know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. I've never really heard that women say that's what they want. So
yeah. It's
really?
often on the list. And what it comes down to is like, I don't want to take care of him, because women lose respect. If we lose respect, we lose the attraction.
Interesting.
But you can see somebody go through a hard time, or see somebody, you know, choose a different value, choose to not be that, you know, type A businessman. You could see a man choose just a different value, but be so confident in himself that you can just relax and trust that. Because the respect is really what's important. And, you know, we still are all like cavemaned out, right? With the like hunter gatherer, and there's still these like basic instincts for us to want to go in that direction and picking a partner. But then on the flip side, we get all like, but I want him to know that my business is just as important as his. And I want him to give me the freedom to like fulfill my dreams. But then I want him to be a type A charismatic businessman and make all this money.
Interesting.
So that's the values, right?
Right. So I appreciate the consciousness you're bringing to this whole conversation with women.
Thank you.
You know, inviting them to really, the word is just be more conscious in their, you know, in who they decide to, who they want to connect with. You know, it's one of the things that I've learned in probably the last 10 years or to 15 years that I didn't know when I was younger and dating and single, is that men are vulnerable. Men don't know everything. I mean, I grew up, and it was my parents divorced when I was 9. So it was me, my mom, and my sister. And then it was just me and my mom. So it was just women. So I didn't understand men. And I have a son who's now 19. I was married for a while, so I knew him. And then I also have been in a spiritual training program with some men, so I've got to know them. And I realized, you know what? Men don't know everything. They are vulnerable. They have feelings, even if they show them differently. And they're trying to figure out, just like we are, how to do anything, whether it's work or relationships or whatever. They're just coming from a different orientation in terms of, you know, they're you know, in general, women are more about feelings and in general, and connection, and men are more about action and sex, and it just in general, and they're left brain and we're more right brain, all that kind of stuff. And but it's just, if I wish I had known all that. I wish I had gotten it that men were just people. You know?
But a lot of that's shifting too. Like a lot of that's really shifting because we were all forced into those roles because we were living in survival. You know, we've been living in survival for the past thousands, possibly millions of years, but we know for sure thousands, right? So those were the roles that we all played to survive. But we're all starting to get more in touch with our masculine and our feminine, and and the doors are kind of breaking open. So it's like, it's unfair to ask men to adapt and shift to this power that women are now stepping into. And it's unfair to ask women to try to be powerful in a way that's always been valued in the past by men. I mean, that's why there's so many women entrepreneurs, because we know that we can't get ahead jumping into a corporation and clawing our way to the top. It doesn't feel good to us. It drains us because we have to try to get power in a way that's not comfortable, right? And so then men are expected to sort of adapt to this, new way of power, but then we want to pigeonhole them into staying the way we've always seen them to be, this perfect, strong,
right.
image that like you were just expressing. But everybody I talk to, when I ask them, what's your vision? What's your vision for your relationship? What do you want it to be like? Everybody wants this partnership, this true partnership, where they're both valued, where they can, share and talk and spend time together and enjoy each other's company. And this true partnership can't come from this sense of separation, where they're so different and we're so different.
Oh, I see. So you were hearing me say that they're so different. I wasn't trying to say that they're so different. I think I was really, that's not what I was saying. I do think that there are some differences.
No, I agree.
That is innate. But what I've been learning over the last 15 to 20 years after hanging out with men more is they're not, I thought they were so different. I was like those women you're talking about. I wanted them to be the caretaker, to fix all the problems, to fix all the guy thing. And now I realize that they're just men. They're just people. When I say they're just men, they're just people like you and I are, and they're trying to figure it out too. And so it's just like any two people. How do any two people have a relationship? And I think that so much of the time with relationships, we think that it's supposed to be perfect, and I don't know. To me, relationship is like it's ongoing life. It's an ongoing process of communication and working it out and figuring out and laughing and crying and a little not together, a little together, and like this process. And so
that's why I love dating, because it's so many times it's like the uncertainty of dating at the beginning and taking it slow and like going through the process is so uncomfortable, right? Because uncertainty is so uncomfortable. But I love dating because staying in that uncertainty, being a little bit uncomfortable, taking it slow, practicing your communication skills, coming together, going apart, coming together, going apart. Doing that whole process sets a foundation for the exact type of relationship that people want. So many times, like you always see on TV, and it's like, who invented this? Who invented this, like, have sex on the third date thing, right? It's like,
I know. It's like we get our rules about dating and relationships
from friggin' the movies.
Yeah,
I know. Yes. And also either the first date or the third date. I'm like, it's like I watched this show and I wrote a blog about it. It's that Frankie and Johnny or whatever it is. And the daughter is this high level corporate woman, right? And she jumps into bed with these guys, jumps into bed with these guys, jumps into bed with these guys. And then lo and behold, she jumps in bed with this other guy, but he turns out to be the right guy and it all works out and it's okay. I'm like, no. You don't just keep jumping in bed with different people. Do like the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. TV lets you see people doing the same thing over and over again and getting a different result. No, it doesn't work that way. She would literally have to switch up what she's doing to get the relationship.
I love it. I love it. TV lets you see them do the same thing over again and get a different result. That's a great quote. Really good.
Yes, it does. And then I was watching this other show, and this kid's mom was dating, and he like called his ex, and he's like, "It's the third date. Even I know what that means." I'm like, "Oh my God! An 8-year-old knows everybody has sex on the third date. No sex on the third date. No. Get to know the person. Get to know them. Build the friendship."
Hallelujah to that. So
like just one other thing I have to say really quick, like all those marriages that lasted in the 50s, how the 50s, they had a lot of those marriages are still intact. Those people weren't allowed to have sex on the first date. You weren't allowed. So they had to date and they had to get to know each other, and they met through high school and they met through college. That's where they met, and all paths led to marriage. So they got to know each other.
Mm-hmm. So part of dating for true love is to get to know each other probably before you start having sex. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it's just confusing. It confuses you. It's confusing, and your judgment gets clouded because of all the chemicals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I don't know. At this stage in my life, I only want to be intimate. I would only want to be intimate if I really felt great about a guy, and if I really felt great about him, I'd probably want to be in a serious relationship. So
yeah,
it's so different to be older. So.
Yeah, and I think we also aren't as driven by our hormones as you get older. Your hormones aren't as strong. I mean, I remember, my like even all through my 30s, like my hormones were very strong, and it was very hard to wait. It was just really hard. And even if I wasn't having sex, the hormones were so intense that I was thinking about having sex even if I wasn't having sex.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a different time. I remember, I don't think I did that so much in my 20s, but definitely in my teens, and not in my 30s, but in my teens and my 20s, I did think about sex and kissing. I thought about kissing and just intimate connection, and now I hardly ever think about it. It's like, whatever, Okay.
I was really into kissing in my teens and 20s too. It was very, it's funny. So I know, and now the values do change, and it becomes more about the connection, the friendship, and that is the same for men too.
Yeah, men definitely feel different to me now, just in general, from in the 40s, when men get to be in their 40s and later. And then when they're older, they seem even different. Like, ooh, I don't know. It's just the different stages. They're definitely different. But cool. Okay. So dating for true love. So, let's just do one question just in general for me. If I wanted to date for true love, what should I do, Pamela?
Well, I would say it's a combination of taking inspired action and the growth work. And you just have to get like, okay, this is a goal, right? This is life. Life is goals. Life truly is about goals. It's why we're here, to make a goal and do the stuff that goes along with it. And so you take inspired action. What are you being led to do? What's your next step? What's your next indicated step? And when you get stuck, when you start to experience things that you don't like, then you go and you do the growth and you do the learning, and you say, okay, knowing that life is always on my side, knowing that everything that is brought to me is truly for my highest good and is truly supporting me to achieve this goal. Because see, life supports us to achieve our goals. And then we get all confused when stuff comes at us that we don't like. We're like, but wait, I thought life was supposed to support us to achieve our goals. All the gurus say, the universe will provide. Well, the universe provides you what you need. And if there's something from your subconscious mind or something in your belief system that's stopping you from attracting the man that you can love and respect, you're going to get that coming out so that you can work through it, so you don't blow it. I always say, like, whenever you quote unquote blow it with somebody, you're blowing it with the wrong guy, so that you heal, clear, transform, whatever it is, so that when the right guy comes along, you're ready for him.
This is so interesting, because it's so much like how I think about whether the things that I work on with my clients and with myself, whether it's growing a business or manifesting abundance, it's the same stuff. It's like,
my God,
I totally believe that the divine wants us to thrive. And then, and I love how you put this whole thing about life is about goals. I don't think everybody feels that way. And I love goals. And so many people don't like to identify goals, but it's clear to me, especially in talking with you about dating, it's not a goal for me. I don't move forward in it in any way. I mean, I do think the divine also if a person doesn't have a goal in a particular area and your higher self came on the planet to work on something and you're not, then I think that's when there's a divine intervention. Like if I was if on some level, at that higher level, I was here to work on relationships, somehow I would get into a relationship situation and with a guy, with a partner. But that's not happening. So I think it's interesting. But I love how you were saying that about goals, and then because I go through this, but I believe that the divine wants me to thrive. Why isn't this working out? And I love how you're putting that in the context of dating, and that it's just, you got to do the personal growth. It means that something's got to be worked on. So that's just, I love it. I love it, Pamela. I know when we talked like a year or so ago, I was like, oh, yeah, this is it. We're sisters now. I get it. Soul sisters here. It's great. Okay.
I know, we did feel a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's so basically, if I really wanted to date for true love, what I need to do is make it a goal.
Yeah, and I think that there is that part in you that kind of like in your heart that will also show you that it's what it's meant to be. So like, holidays are always hard for people, and it's like holidays will trigger that feeling inside of like, I could be sharing this with somebody, or, maybe there is a possibility for the type of family that I want to have, or that there's like a longing or a yearning in your heart to share your life with somebody. And it's really easy to stay busy. I mean, my gosh, we can stay busy. I know people who are retired from their jobs and they're like, I'm busy every day. Like, I don't even know, so it's easy to drown out sometimes those longings by maybe a belief that it's just not possible, or it's not worth the effort, or if you've been hurt really badly in the past, by somebody, it can almost like shut that down. But you're right, there will be divine intervention too, because I have a client who always blamed the other person for the failures of relationships. It was always their fault. They were screwed up. They weren't doing the growth work. All of a sudden, it was a man, he was gay though, comes into a relationship with another man who's doing the growth work, and he completely like wigs out and like acts quote unquote psycho. You know how you get accused of that sometimes, more emotional, but not handling it right, kind of flying off the handle. And the person he was with was like, I think we have a lot of good here, but you need to be in therapy. And I'm in therapy, I'm working on myself, and you need to be in therapy or doing a 12-step program or something and working on yourself. And it was like the mirror was flashed in his face. Wow. And then he was trying to say, well, it was him and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, now you really need to commit on doing the work. So it was like the law of attraction does that work where it brings that miracle into your life. But still, if you're not doing the work to like meet that miracle, it's gonna fall apart. You've got to get serious about the inner work. We all do.
So, okay. So I know that you've provided me with a link to share with my people. What is that about? What is that if people click that?
Funny, I'm trying to think of what link I provided you, but I have something. Was it my Hot Summer Love event that I sent you?
I'm not quite sure. I guess I could.
I guess I should have.
Find
because what I have coming up actually that I'm going to be doing that I think would be of better interest to your audience is my Receiving True Love program. Okay. And it's where I actually teach people about receiving true love. And I actually teach the law of attraction kind of, principles in a webinar. Plus we have everybody going through this meditation, like a 10-minute meditation every day for 21 days, where we really get in alignment with what I call the true love qualities within you. Because when you activate those, like we were talking about, if you're kind of shut down, if you haven't been thinking about love and relationship, it sort of activates those true love qualities. Like one's beauty, it activates the beauty within you, because we all are beautiful, right? We all have that inner radiance, that inner beauty that's only uniquely ours. And it sort of sends out that telegram, you know what I mean, to our true love to like hello, I'm activating this universe, start to work, you know what I mean? Start to do the magic. So, and then I just teach the principles of law of attraction, and it's a pretty cool program. I had somebody who did it, and she'd been horribly dating experiences for 8 years, completely shifted in this program and met her guy in like a year later or something, 8 months later or something. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, the link that I have that I'll share with my people, it actually just takes them to your website, and they can.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Sign up for your e-list, and they'll stay connected with you, and they'll hear about it. Or the next thing, people here are watching this later or whatever, that would be fine too. So cool.
Yeah, and it's under programs also on my website. It's under programs, Receiving True Love. So you can kind of check out the page there as well. Okay. So yeah, awesome.
Excellent. All right. Well, this has just been so much fun, Pamela.
It has.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for thinking of me and asking me, because I love to talk about this subject.
Very good. All right. Okay, my friends. Well, listen, let me just click over here and let y'all know on Monday, my next Manifesting Abundance show, I'm going to be interviewing Jan Messersmith, and she is a mindset optimizer and visionary business strategist, and she helps soul-led women entrepreneurs to fast-track their way through blocks and limiting beliefs. So that's going to be very fun, because I love that stuff too. I have so many cool people in my life. I'm very excited about interviewing them here. So thank you again, Pamela, for being here. Thank you, listeners, for checking in, and I'll be back. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Kathryn.
Bye.
Bye.